Hello and welcome to another Facebook Ad Strategies video. This is going to be about Facebook event marketing, generating awareness, engagement, and ultimately ticket sales. And I'm going to take you through some advanced strategies here today. In fact, we're going to go right to it. This is not the entire document because this gets rather extensive. And so if you're a newbie here, this would be too overwhelming for you. I suggest going back to the basic, looking at some of other videos on the channel. But so this is advanced, but really at the highest level, it's simple. You know, if you look on the left here, phase one. If you don't have any social proof and you don't have big lists and you don't have a lot of likes to your pages, a very low sort of social proof and engagement from the get-go, you need to build phase one out. And this is very common for many. Even the ones that have been established for a while. You know, it doesn't matter if you have huge lists if it's a poor buyer mindset, meaning you may have a large email list, for instance, that you want to use and leverage within Facebook, but if there's not a buyer bias there, you're going to have a harder time than if you had the opposite. But I'm sort of going way ahead of myself here. I just wanted to let you know that step one at the highest level is you need to build up social proof. These are people who have engaged with your page, engaged with your ads, engaged with your posts, whatever you have going there. And, you know, it creates essentially a social environment where other people, as they come into your events, can see that there's activity and engagement there. So you want that. Plus, of course, building an audience in this way is like building a silent email list, sort of behind the scenes. So you want to do that. Phase one, right? Phase two, you want to now retarget these people. And retargeting is just really a matter of setting up ads that you know, connect with previous audiences that you built in phase one. So, you know, just as a simple example, to get these event responses, which I'll show you here in a second in a Facebook ad, it might cost you $1 per event response. An event response, by the way, is not a bought ticket yet. It's just a response, but it could be. But really, we talk about responses here. You'll see it in a second. And phase two is all about retargeting and optimizing that environment so that you get more sales. But you really need to start with phase one, as I mentioned, and then offer the warm audience ticket sales. Now, if you're not selling tickets and you have everything else done right, it's going to get down to the offer. I mean, you can create new ads. There's a lot of variety in the ads. Of course, you have video ads, you have static image ads, you have carousel ads, dynamic product ads in the you know, sort of e-commerce realm. But really what you're trying to do here is establish a match between your message to the market. And you can have great ads, you know, high relevancy rates, your frequency is looking good, your cost per click is looking good. You're still not converting. You need to create offers that resonate, and that can vary from, of course, offering tickets at a discounted rate, you know, special VIP packages, etc. There's many ways to position that, but just cranking out ads is not going to help in that matter, in that case. But I just want to take you over here for a second. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, retargeting, bottom of funnel. You'll think about this a lot as you drive traffic into your world, because essentially what you're looking at here with these, you know, TOFs, MOFs, and BOFs is, you know, cold, warm, and hot traffic, right? So if you're just starting out and you're building cold traffic, you know, on the left side here, well, then you're going to have a tougher time than if you're already well established and you're in here. However, all of this has a cyclical nature to it, and you need to continually do these things. Now, this is where you could get into questions of, you know, how much money should I allocate to each section? Well, that requires a further analysis. And, you know, here at the agency, we like to start with the data. You know, we start with the end in mind, and we look at worksheets, and we look at Google Analytics, we look at Facebook Analytics, we look at everything that's been set up before and start to make a determination of that. And of course, timeline is important. You know, if this is a smaller event with 50 people, that's one thing versus, you know, 5,000 or 50,000. So, you know, there's a lot of variables that go into this, but the basics hold true still for most of these, and that is get those responses, build up the social proof, just continue doing that. And as you move through this customer journey here, optimize with the sales. So, I'm not going to go too much into this. You can actually go to, I'll send this at the end of the video, a specific URL where you can get the full document and some case studies that we've run as well. Happy to do that for you, because frankly, this is exciting. We love to do this work, but when it works, it really is exciting. So, one thing I should mention though is testing is key to all of this. I don't think I've found a single sort of quote-unquote expert that comes in and says, do these 3 things and you're set. Each market is different, each business is different, each day is different, each hour is different. Is it the weekends, is it during the week, nighttime, daytime, many variables you need to test. And data is going to actually dictate where you need to go with your campaigns. But I will say this, acting on the data too fast, too soon is death. So if you're looking at something for a couple of days and say, whoa, this is way out of KPI, meaning your key performance indicators that you've set up for yourself, well, that's probably too rigid. You need to look at this in a wider span. And unfortunately, that also means some budget, right? And so we have clients where we actually do these sprints all the time. And, not each sprint is going to work, so we turn them off, or we take some of that learning and push it forward. So 3 to 7 day sprints, 24 hours, 48 hours possibly, all depending on budgets and environments here. But I just wanted to mention this. So let's get over to a Facebook demo account here, and we're going to set up this event response campaign. So if you see this, that means you're probably an advanced person. If not, then you can switch to the guided creation, which we'll do here for this demo purpose. So again, this, as you can see here, we're kind of, Facebook is even addressing this idea of, cold versus warm versus hot traffic, or the ability to actually convert at that level. That's conversion sales here. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go to engagement. And there's some options for this, and I'm sure you've seen it. The ability to get engagement with your posts, with your ads, in terms of people commenting and sharing, etc. This is Facebook saying, if you'd like that, we'll try and find people who most closely match this in terms of their profile, because Facebook ultimately knows everything about you and more than you probably would like. So that's that. Page likes is just that, likes on your page. But we're going to do event responses. So we're just going to go event responses here. So we're just making it simple. All right, and you're not going to see this setup account. This is because of my demo account here. So we're just going to continue on. So now once you get in here, this is going to be all about your targeting. And as I said, if you have already built up or have email lists, etc., CRM data that's already a buyer list, well, then this would be the place to put that. But we're just going to go local, so we're going to not do everybody. We're just going to do a local event here in Los Angeles City. And let's do, this is kind of wide. You got to think a little bit about who these people are, where they live, etc., etc. And of course, we get into age range, men versus women. Skip that. Go into here, and let's say that we're doing a yoga event. So we're just going to simply go yoga interest. Don't try to get too cute here in terms of, I'm going to target down to, the exact person in whichever way they may show up, right? Start out by going broad here. This is just simply location, and it is the age group and the gender, and that's it. Pick the interest, in this case the yoga, and we're gonna start out with placements. By the way, this throws people off all the time. You kind of forget where you're at. Each campaigns will have default settings for you. It defaults here to automatic placements, but because this is a response ad, then the default selection is actually the news feed here. So just keep it as such. Pick your budget. You might start with $5, $10, $100 a day. You also have the ability to here set your 3-day sprint or your 7-day sprint, which actually is a powerful tactic. you also feel a little more comfortable about this because you can essentially say, okay, I know it's going to run for this period of time. I know I don't have to worry about the budget going over here, although it's not an exact science. Math is not an exact science, as I've heard. But don't worry about any and all of this right now. This is early stage, but here it is, event response, right? So now nothing is really majorly different. You got to pick the page here. We're not going to talk about naming conventions much here. An image can really work wonders here. You can test between this and a video, for instance, but because of low budgets in this case, I don't advocate a lot of testing out the gate. We need to get some data in the house. So you can go out here and pick a image real quick, no worries. So we're just going to go for a something that stands out a bit, that's a bit different perhaps in the news feed here. And we'll pick that. So here you're going to basically see the list of events based on what you have already established in Facebook, right? So this is basically promoting Facebook events. So you got to go and set that up first. Compelling text. This is the ability for you to create a strong offer. This could be that early bird entry point. It could be VIP tickets, etc. So you want to talk about that there. You don't have to worry too much about the parameters right now. However, as you're doing this, you might want to test, as you increase this in terms of activity, test between, say, a page on your website versus a page on Facebook versus a page on, Eventbrite or Ticketmaster and others. Eventbrite actually has some really nice integrations with Facebook Pixel. So, again, we're not going to go through here. We want to just simply confirm this and launch it, right? So that's pretty much it in terms of the setup and the configuration. But as you saw here, what we're doing is we're building out Facebook ads for this phase. We're not doing phase 2. In fact, if you start with phase 2, that means you're more advanced. That means you also have a buyers list, somebody who falls into that sort of middle to bottom of funnel category or segment. So, you probably will have enjoyed watching this video, but you're probably way deep already. So just glad that you had a chance to take a quick look at this. But anyway, this is really just a super quick overview of this Facebook event marketing strategy and really framework. It's a bird's eye view with a little bit of detail, as I showed you. And if you'd like to see more of this, you could just go to Facebook/Chaos Map Marketing, Chaos Map Marketing, as you see there, and just click send message, and we'll send you an instant case study right to you that you can watch and see how we actually ran a campaign that generated over 90K in about 7 weeks. And it was using these types of techniques where you build up the audience. Although we didn't actually go for a Facebook event type page here, we went through a website environment, website pages. It's still going to be valuable for you, and see how we put this together. So anyway, if you would like to do that, go ahead. But other than that, I really enjoyed putting this together really quick here today. I've had a number of requests for it, so hope you enjoy this. And please share, please comment, and yes, go ahead and enjoy the event case study here as you continue doing your wonderful work out there. Thank you again.